In 1987, my family and I moved to Las Cruz, New Mexico. A nice place, smaller than most cities, but interesting nonetheless. The people there were kind, at least in the inner city. In the neighborhood where all my family had moved, everyone was quiet and kept to themselves. Real quaint if you're the type of person who liked those kinds of things. For me, I found it odd. No one talked to my family or bothered to communicate during their stay there. It's like they are hiding some kind of big secret. But I did notice one thing. No one came to the house, or came near the house. First I thought, uh, first I thought I understood why. The house wasn't really exactly a looker, if you know what I mean. The walls outside were rusted, the grass outside was tall and bushy, and the place looked like a dump. But after a while, I started to notice some things. People on the streets wouldn't come near the house at all. They acted like it was going to devour them or something. Kids on the street would point and stare, and eventually, after I started school, I was wondering why people were so afraid of the house. You know, that place is haunted. That's the first thing someone said to me as I stepped into that school. Not even a hello or a welcome. No, I got that. At first I was a bit confused. What is haunted? I said to the kid in front of me. The one who decided to make that statement. He didn't say anything, he just turned around and started walking away. I was a bit curious now. I wondered what that kid said was true, or it was just some kind of elaborate prank. Something to pull on the new kid. That was deeply wrong. I now know. School went on for a while, and everything seemed fine. My father and mother were happy, my sister was too, but I noticed things started to happen to me. I'd wake up in the middle of the night with a heavy feeling on my chest, as if something was laying on top of me or pressing against my body, but when I opened my eyes, nothing was there. During those nights, I swore I was being watched, as if someone was stalking me. There was this dark corner in my room that would appear every night. It was the only part of my room that wasn't visible during the nighttime, being I don't sleep with any lights on whatsoever. It was from that corner that I felt something watching me, as if someone was standing there, but I was too afraid to go over and check. Not to mention I was very tired, and I tried to shrug it off and sleep. Until one night, that is. As I laid in bed that night, I was having trouble sleeping as usual. I had a feeling my chest had returned, and it was getting hard to breathe. I had this feeling of overwhelming fear, but I didn't know why. It was like I was fearing for my dear life without any reason. I opened my eyes slightly, and I gazed around the room, and I swore I saw shadows moving in the moonlight. Zooming past my vision as if they were getting closer and closer. Eventually, the shadows formed into what appeared to be a man in a dark, long cloak. I then woke up fully. I took a deep breath and backed up against the wall behind my bed. But after that, I couldn't move. It was like I was paralyzed or something. Whatever that thing was, that man, I take it as that. As it came closer, I sat down on my bed and began to crawl toward me. It was dark. Its dark hand pressed against my covers. The fingers represented claws of some sort. But that wasn't the most terrifying feature. It had no face, no eyes. It was just darkness, leaving a shadow. I was panicking now. I kept coming closer and closer until it was in my face. You know, my parents always told me to pray whenever I felt scared, that God would answer my prayers and protect me. Well, he must have forgotten about me that night, because no amount of prayer whatsoever seemed to be helping. This thing was in my face. Its head was reaching forward as it touched my face. I spoke in the deepest, darkest voice I have ever heard. I couldn't make out what it said. It was speaking in some kind of odd language. but even if it spoke clear English, I doubt it would have listened. I was too scared and too shaken up to pay attention. This thing spoke to me for I don't know how long. Its dark, shadowy figure looming over me as it trailed its claw-like fingers across my cheek, cutting into my skin slightly as some blood leaked down my shirt. Onto my shirt. I thought this was it. Really, I thought I was going to die that night. However, suddenly I heard a knock on my door. I was revealed in some ways, but I was still scared. This thing was sitting on top of me, and for all I knew, it was going to eat or kill me, or something. After the third knock, my mother walked into the room. She looked over me, and she couldn't see anything. I guess she acted like I wasn't there, as if I wasn't in the room. Maybe that thing on top of me blocked her view. I don't know, but all hope was drained from my body at that very moment. I figured that it was it. I was done for. By the blink of an eye, I saw the thing get off me. I walked back to the spot where it was formed and began to change. My mother had left the room by now, but I was more focused on what this thing was turning into. For a moment, I looked as if I was staring at the silhouette of myself, the creature, the man, the being, whatever it was, and then waved to me. Its still, dark, and shadowy body fading into a black mist. I didn't stay in that room. I got up, ran downstairs, and I slept on the couch, with every light on possible. Next morning, I woke early, before everyone else. I packed some clothes, some food, and some extra cash that my father had left in a jar on top of the fridge. I wrote a small note detailing what happened in the counter in the kitchen. Then I left and never looked back. I was 17 at the time, but mentally I felt much older. I eventually crossed the state's line, going back to my home state of Dallas, where I got a job as a clerk in some crappy little convenience store on the south side of Dallas. Times were tough, but I pushed through. And honestly, I had been wanting to leave that home for a long time. I just needed a reason to do it. In some fucked up way, I guess. What happened to me was that reason. Although looking back, I never did hear from my family again. I sent them letters, pictures, but nothing. I never got anything back. I just figured they either forgot about me or they just didn't care that much. Well, it wasn't until recently that I began to research on what happened to that night. I've been having odd dreams lately. It seemed that strange, heavy feeling in my chest had returned. I didn't know why, but I felt like this thing was coming back for me. I want to know what it was. I visited the local library, but I didn't find much interesting in the closest. I came to anything. It was old Navajo legend called the Yee Naaldlooshii. Apparently, it was a demonic force or a person that would assume the shape of animals or people. It seemed logical, but I couldn't understand what such a thing would want with me. I was scared. I didn't sleep for 3 days straight. I was going on my fourth until someone hadn't seen me in a very long time showed up at my door. My mother. She was happy to see me, but she didn't seem that different since the last I saw her. Now, mind you, I hadn't seen her for 25 years. I found it a bit odd that she still looked so young, but shrugged it off. I was happy to see her. So very happy. We walked for a while, but something was off. Every time she looked at me, I got this cold feeling in my body. I felt as if I was staring at a different person. And after a while, I began to feel weak. I was tired. I hadn't slept for days. So I just went into my room. Before that, however, my mother was telling me how much my father left not long not long after I did, and that she took my sister with her. It was shocking, but I didn't care that much. I just wanted to sleep. Oh Lord, how I wanted to sleep. But as I laid down on my bed, I felt that feeling returned. That very same feeling I hadn't felt in 25 years. Someone is watching me from the corner of my room. I'm trying not to pay attention. I'm simply gotta turn over and close my eyes. I'm not sure if I'll make it through this night. I don't know if anyone will ever find this, but if you do, please find my family, inform them what happened. Here, The journal of John F. Makanda was found thrown in the corner of his room by police earlier this month. He was laying in his bed, calm and lifeless, when they arrived. After examining his journal, police determined the man had been up for a week or so before eventually dying from a heart attack. They also suspected the man was hallucinating before his death, as the woman he claimed to be his mother was never there. In fact, she died 23 years ago in a house fire along the rest of the family. Oddly enough, his bedroom window was open. The police arrived. Many neighbors claimed they saw a dark figure emerge a few nights ago, although there's little proof other than the witness reports. On the mirror in his bathroom, however, the police found many strange symbols carved into the glass, those of which were later translated from the Navajo language. There was one word and it was burden. Police aren't sure if it holds any relevance to what happened here, but the case is now closed.